ever laughed at something that happened with your aging parent? Really genuinely laughed and then felt immediately horrible about it? Like the laughter itself was some kind of proof that you don't love them enough. That a real devoted daughter would have cried instead. What if I told you that the laughter was actually the love? What if the ability to find moments of lightness in the darkest season of your life isn't a character flaw? It's a survival skill and a gift. If you've been wondering whether it's okay to laugh while caregiving, this episode is for you. Welcome back to From Overwhelmed to Relieved, the Senior Caregiving Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Calles. This podcast is where we break down senior care decisions, talk honestly about dementia and caregiving, and help adult daughters find relief while taking clear, loving action. So your mom gets the care she deserves without losing yourself in the process. Today we're talking about something that doesn't come up enough in caregiving circles. We talk about guilt, we talk about exhaustion, we talk about grief and the hard decisions that we have to make. But we almost never talk about the moments that make you laugh. The bizarre, the absurd, the unexpected. The moments where you're standing in your mom's bathroom at 11 p.m., helping her wash off the tightening face mask. You know, the one that helps your skin and tightens as it dries. And you just cannot help yourself but laugh. That's a story from my own life. I'm going to share that with you today. And if you're carrying both heartbreak and laughter at the same time and feeling guilty about the laughter, this episode is for you. Let me set the scene. It's my weekend to have my mom at my house. My brother and I take turns, alternating weekends, so neither of us carry the full weight alone. Mom has dementia, which means ordinary routines could become confusing territory. She's in the bathroom doing her bedtime routine, and instead of reaching for her night cream, she grabs a firming face mask. You know, the kind that goes on liquid and tightens as it dries. You know the ones. By the time I get there, she is genuinely frightened. Her face feels strange. Something is wrong. She doesn't know what's happening, and she's really upset. I helped her in the sink, started gently washing it off, and explained what it was, reassuring her she was fine. And then I caught her eye in the mirror, and something in her expression, in the complete bewilderment of the moment, in the sheer absurdity of 11 p.m. face mask drama, made us both start to laugh. She was still a little upset, and we were also laughing. And both things can be true at once. After I got her settled and tucked back into her bed, I thought, was that okay? Was I allowed to laugh at that? Was I making light of something that really scared her? Here's what I've learned and I've come to understand. Yes, absolutely yes. I was allowed to laugh. We both were. Here's the problem. Caregiving culture and our own internal voices have this very narrow idea of what good caregiving looks like. She's devoted. She is patient. She is serious about the weight of what she's carrying. And she certainly doesn't laugh. Somewhere along the way, we've decided that laughter while caregiving is disrespectful, that it means we're not taking the situation seriously enough. The grief and the humor can't coexist. So when something funny happens, when dad insists the dog is actually a spy sent from the neighbors, or when mom puts her sunglasses on upside down and declares she looks fabulous, we stifle it. We swallow the laugh, and then we feel guilty for even feeling the impulse. This is an enormous amount of energy spent suppressing something that is completely human. I want to offer you a different way to look at this. Laughter in caregiving doesn't mean you don't take your parents' needs seriously. It means you are human. It means you are present. It means that even in the hardest season of your life, you still have the capacity to find lightness. And that capacity is exactly what is going to get you through. And here's the part that might surprise you. The science backs this up completely. Research consistently shows that laughter reduces cortisol. That's the stress hormone that, when elevated, leads to exhaustion, immune dysfunction, and burnout. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins. It activates the nervous system, the one that tells your body it's safe to rest, that the crisis is momentarily paused. The Family Caregiver Alliance identifies humor as one of the key coping strategies that helps caregivers sustain long-term care without burning out completely. It's not a luxury, it is a tool. And there's something more. For people with dementia, emotionally, memory often outlasts cognitive memory. Your parent may not remember the face mask incident tomorrow, but the moment of laughter together that felt safe, they felt connected, they felt loved in the moment, that warmth of a relationship that was still intact, even as so much else was slipping. Laughter in those moments is a connection, and a connection is care. Now I want to be clear about something really important, because this is where the guilt often comes from. And I think it deserves an honest look. The difference between laughing with your parent and laughing at them is completely different. Laughing at someone means making their confusion or decline the punchline. It means sharing stories that demean them. It means using humor to create distance instead of connection. That is not what I'm talking about here. Laughing with them, or laughing because you love them and the situation is genuinely absurd, that's something differently entirely. That's the laugh that breaks the tension. That's the laugh that says, we're okay, even right now. That's the laugh that your parent might not fully understand, but can still feel the warmth of it. My mom and I laughed together in that bathroom, the one I'd set up for her for weekend visits. She didn't fully know why, but she felt the shift of energy. She felt safe, and that matters. And my mother has always loved my laugh. So it really made her feel normal in the moment, you know? I talk to caregiving daughters every week, and the ones who are surviving, not just white knuckling it through, but actually sustaining themselves, are almost always the one who have given themselves permission to feel the full range of human experiences, including laughter. They're the ones who have a sister they can call and say, "You're not going to believe what dad did today." And they laugh until they cry. And the crying and the laughing are exactly the same thing. They're the ones who share funny stories in our Strong Daughters Club, and the whole group laughs together. And for one moment, everyone feels less alone. In fact, just today in my Hope Dementia support class, we were sharing stories. One caregiver told us about the time her mom heard a low battery alert beeping somewhere in the house. She was absolutely convinced that someone was knocking on the door. She kept getting up to answer it over and over. "Someone's at the door. Can you hear them knocking?" We all laughed, not at her mom, but at the beautifully absurdity of dementia. The sincerity, her mom kept answering the door and no one was knocking on it. The caregiver patience, the fact that the low battery somehow became a persistent visitor. Another caregiver shared with me that her father, who has Alzheimer's, would ask her the same question every single time he saw her. "How much do you weigh?" Every time without fail. It became a running joke in the family. When he passed in 1997, that question became one of the memories she held on to, not with sadness, but with a smile. That's what I mean when I say laughter is connection. These moments, the low battery knock, the repeated wait question, my mom and the face mask. They're not betrayals. They're the moments that keep us human, that remind us we're still here, that love and laughter can absolutely coexist. Permission to laugh is also permission to stay, to keep going, to keep coming back tomorrow. Caregivers who can't find any lightness in their situation are the ones who burn out the fastest, not because they love less, but because they're running on empty. No relief valve, right? Laughter is a relief valve. Use it. Let's talk about our weekly challenge. Step 1, remember a funny moment. Think of one moment, just one, where something unexpectedly funny happened in the middle of your caregiving journey. It doesn't have to be a big moment. The face mask incident that started with my mom, generally scared, ended in laughter. Both were real. Write it down just for yourself. Let yourself smile remembering it. That moment is yours, and it's not a betrayal of your love. Remember that. Step 2, share it with someone. Call your sister, call a friend, call your cousin, someone who loves your parent like you do. Tell them the story. Let yourself laugh together. Notice what happens in your body when you do. That's your nervous system exhaling. If you don't have someone to call, come find us in the Strong Daughters Club. It's a club that I have on Facebook. We want to hear about it. We will laugh with you. That's exactly the kind of thing we hold space for. Step 3, share it publicly. Post your funny caregiving moment on Instagram, or just share this episode with another caregiver friend who needs permission to laugh today. Tag Clark County Senior Resources. Let's normalize the full, messy, sometimes hilarious reality of this journey. Because when you share your story, you give another daughter permission to exhale too. If this episode spoke directly to you, do the challenge. Share a funny moment. Give yourself permission, and then come find your people. The Strong Daughters Club is where caregiving daughters come to be real about all of it. The grief and the laughter, the exhaustion and the joy, the impossible decisions and the absurd face mask moments. You don't have to carry it alone. Join us at the Strong Daughters Club. I'll post the link. And if you're ready to talk about your specific situation, your mom, your options, what comes next, I'm here for that too. You can reach me directly, Shannon at clarkcountysr.com, or text me at 564-227-8847. Please subscribe and rate this podcast. Your review helps other exhausted daughters find this show. Share this episode with somebody who needs permission to laugh today. Next week, we're going to get into another topic, one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for still showing up for your parent and for yourself. And remember, you're not failing. You are human, and you are allowed to laugh. Until then, be gentle with yourself.